Nsem-Pii TV nie
akwaba eba Nsem-Pii TV platform yi eso Supreme Court the apex court of the land and ho ewu su say che butubutu adentia enye nim se Ghana emra kunini edidi juma 1992 constitution no said the Supreme Court shall be made up of the Chief Justice and 9 or more other justices. Say the Chief Justice now no any the embodiment of the Supreme Court, which is the head of the judiciary, the apex court of the land. Yejina free honomo acting Chief Justice ya pound so no hwechiri. Any a judge for mako enum almost Supreme Court and I was ne apere koso din na die na akwakofa sa apere ni awoso yi e de aba the apex court of the land ne nyina eye akonwa aba beto ho no mo say the widely contested and widely spoken against decision of the NDC Mahama John administration yi omo eyi Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Sakitoko no free honum no and no ho apere and say Ecoso Supreme Court na 5 judges justices one Justice Everenini Aboa, Justice Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu Professor, Justice Yoni Kulendi, Justice Paul Bafuboni and Justice Isifu Umoru Amadu Tanko. Sam penifo maku enumi and SCC kopiemu el Supreme Court no mo. We can na we yaka, we ye na we ye. Nina is the bid to succeed the dismissed Chief Justice. Now Paul Adomochiri, as usual, Abagana Hanomwa, Ope Omo Din Komoko Echiri Fifi Nsemu at the grapevine sources at Timetuja, Untumi Moni Pami and said Barbara Moni Din El Ghana Hano. Ene or the details na about Betuja aso Dienti Asaniama we koso ena feso Chief Justice Akunyano why ena eba betina so na date benso ena John Domini Mahama ebe bodi pakodi din se no ena ye the new Chief Justice for the Republic of Ghana. Yentie the details as presented by the astute Paul Adomochiri.
Amadu Tanko. Justice Amadu Tanko is one of those rare Ghanaian lawyers who trained in Nigeria. You don't have many Ghanaian lawyers training in Nigeria, but he's one of the rare Ghanaian lawyers who trained in Nigeria. When I first met Justice Amadu Tanko sometime around 2002, 2003, he was in the law firm of Ambrose Derry, the former minister for Interior. Ambrose Derry is a member of parliament. He and Justice Amadu Tanko were in the same law firm. Now, guess what? In that law firm was Thaddeus Sori, one of the famous lawyers today, the lead lawyer at the bar, Thaddeus Sori, the Liverpool man. Thaddeus Sori was in that firm as well. And also, the daughter of the former president, Liman, Hila Liman's daughter, Lida Liman, was also in that firm. Now, they had an office at the bus stop in Accra, what we call the bus stop restaurant. They had a beautiful office there. So I was used to work at Joy FM at that time. So I'll just always go there and go and have a chat with them. And Amadu Tanko was quite interested in football. So Mr. Yampofo Ankra, who was my colleague at Joy FM, who is now the boss of the National Sports Authority, the two of us will go and talk to Amadu Tanko. We struck an acquaintance. And I think that in those days, Kwesi Nyantechi, the former chairman of the Ghana Football Association, was friends with that law firm because Kwesi Nyantechi and Thaddeus Sori were very close in those days. So Amadu Tanko, I believe, got on the seat of the GFA's legal committee, something like that. So on Saturdays, we'll go to Tema. Viewers, forgive me for saying this. I hope Justice Tanko will forgive me. I'm blowing up his cover a little bit. I've not seen him in many years. I don't remember the last time I saw him, but this is the story. So we'll go to Tema and go and be at Agbamami. Those of you who are in Tema, do you know Agbamami? We've done plenty of things. So Saturday, my Ampofanka will call me. You did house, Charlie, make we go. Then I was in Sakuma, now I just drive past Committee 3, and then we have Agbamami. Tanko will be there. And then Tanko was very expressive. And why I liked to hear his arguments. You know, in those days, the lawyers were always arguing in the afternoon in their law firm. So they come back from court, they're always arguing. And it was beautiful to look at. If you listen to that, you will want to become a lawyer. And I believe that's part of what led me to the Faculty of Law at the University of Ghana as a postgraduate student. So Tanko was always arguing with his friends, and he always cites Nigerian authorities. And Ambrose Derry will shake his head and say, you and this your Nigerian things. And Tanko will list a lot the Nigerian authorities. I mean, they were very famous. There's a particular name that is not coming to my head. I should have asked sorry today about that famous idol of Amadu Tanko that he always used to mention. Anyway, so that was Justice Tanko. And that's where he used to work. In those days, I used to go there because they were lawyers for Malam Issa. Now, Malam Issa, those of you who don't know the story, just a quick one. Malam Issa had been sports minister appointed by Kufuor from the PNC. And you know, in that law firm, a lot of them were PNC. You can imagine Hilary Man was PNC. I don't remember. I think Ambrose Derry was PNC too. And Amadu Tanko, I can't remember his political affiliation at that time. I don't think he had any. So they were doing the Malam Issa case. So I'll go to them and sort of go and listen. And I fell in love with the way they were defending Malam Issa. I was quite disappointed when Malam Issa lost the case. I was so disappointed that I went to Nsem-Pii prison to visit Malam Issa. You can imagine that. I drove all the way to Nsem-Pii prison. I saw Malam Issa. I said, Paul, I'm going to come out. I'm going to come out. I felt so sad. I mean, those were the days. Those were the days. So I think Malam Issa is out. So he's been out for a very long time. He got a pardon and all that. So that's what I know about Amadu Tanko. He's one of the rare Ghanaian lawyers who cut his teeth at the bar in Nigeria. So that's Amadu Tanko. Those days when I was in Jubilee House corridors of power when I heard that Akufo-Addo was considering Malam Issa for I became very excited. I think I must have texted Tadio Story that your man is being considered for Supreme Court, something like that. And there were some people who had different opinions. The opinions were shared. Akufo-Addo felt that how can we have a nation that has Muslims and then the Supreme Court has never had a Muslim? He thought that was wrong. And so he jumped onto the idea that Amadu Tanko be elevated to the Supreme Court. I think he came straight from the bar, if I believe, or did he come from the Court of Appeal? I can't remember. Somebody should check. But I think it was on that basis that Amadu Tanko was elevated, because the president felt that, look, we needed to get Amadu Tanko in there. So Amadu Tanko is in pole position to become. Now, politically, would you say that if you look at the recent past, Amadu Tanko led the recent ruling in the Daniel Ofori matter, which may have had some political connotations, but he was also the lead lawyer in the Kevin Taylor matter, in the certiorari, I believe, that overturned the Cheba 4 issue. Amadu Tanko was the lead lawyer. He wrote the lead opinion of the 5-4-1. The 4-1 majority decision. Amadu Tanko wrote the lead opinion. So perhaps politically he stands in very good stead. I don't know whether that's going to be a consideration. But yes, Amadu Tanko is right in there for the position. He's in pole position. Justice Paul Bafuboni, his supporters felt that he had been overlooked for Justice Tokonu to become. In fact, in the Tokonu situation, Amadu Tanko Bafuboni was not even second. Justice Kulendi was second and Tokonu was first. Tokonu got it. Now, supporters of Bafuboni felt that he had been overlooked. Maybe part of the reason why Justice Bafuboni may have been overlooked is that he was a Kumasi-based High Court lawyer, and he's very, he's a Kumasi guy. Perhaps it was felt that he had such a fantastic relationship with Kwesi Eni-Yeboah that moving from Eni-Yeboah to Bafuboni might have been giving the job to the same sect of people, something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But people who support Bafuboni felt that Bafuboni had been overlooked in that decision, and that Bafuboni perhaps for the seniority should have been given the job. So when Bafuboni was made acting Chief Justice, some people were excited about it. I've seen him once since he became acting Chief Justice. He's a very good guy. He's a big supporter of Liverpool Football Club. Justice Bafuboni is expected to become the Chief Justice because he's been acting and he's a senior most. But that's not the decision making. That's not how the decision is made. It's not just about that. That's an important consideration, but it's not just about that. But those who want to have sleeping dogs lying and have the system working normally, don't change anything, don't dramatically do anything. All of them are urging President Mahama that you already have an acting Chief Justice. Just go on with it. What is the point? Justice Bafuboni will retire in December 2026. So why do you overlook him and let him be acting Chief Justice? Then he comes down, he's no longer acting. Another person becomes Chief Justice. Then he is now behind that person. And then 2026 December, you let him go. Is it fair? I don't know whether fairness is the name of the game or something else. Political, judicial, legal, cultural, religion. All of these things can come into the decision in the mind of the president or how these things work. So we don't know how that will go. But those who support Bafuboni think that do not invent the wheel. This is okay. The guy is acting. Let him go. Good luck to Paul Bafuboni in this matter. Next is the philosopher king. That's how I call him. the philosopher K. Now, if you look at the Supreme Court and you're looking for the philosophy of law, it resides in Kulendi. There's no doubt about that. The most philosophical based lawyer, the Aristotle of the Supreme Court is Justice Yoni Kulendi. There's absolutely no doubt about that. If you're looking for a lawyer who is going to mount the Chief Justice situation and bring up rulings that are novel, that can shake the system, it is Yoni Kulendi. Now, Justice Kulendi was new at the court when he immediately came into the consideration for Supreme Court, for Chief Justice. Somehow it didn't go his way. Some people are thinking that, okay, you had Kulendi in the grand final and you gave it to Tokonu. Tokonu is not there. There's nowhere else to go. Just give it to Kulendi because you are looking to have a Supreme Court that is dynamic. And you can get that with the Chief Justice, Yoni Kulendi. Yoni Kulendi has big support among the pastoral group, the charismatic Christian pastors and some of the Pentecostals. Yoni Kulendi has a huge support base there because Justice Kulendi is one of those lawyers who never hid his connection with the charismatic church. He never hid it. And he's been at the forefront of the charismatic church. He has excellent relations with all the major charismatic pastors. When the ICGC story of Capital Bank broke, Justice Kulendi on his own offered support to the church, ICGC and Pastor Otabel and all of that. So he has a big connection with the charismatic church. And you know that President Mahama has also a very loud connection with the charismatic assembly. So if the decision is going to go that way, you can see that the major charismatic voices are going to back Yoni Kulendi to become the Lord Chief Justice. We don't know how that's going to go. Good luck to my good friend and senior Justice Yoni Kulendi. And anyone who knows Yoni Kulendi knows that his wife's name is Emefa and they are very, very close. You cannot know Kulendi without knowing Emefa. So good luck to them and hope that President Mahama will look their way. But Justice Kulendi has more time. He's very young. He's only 62. Professor Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu's call is coming from the gender-based activists who are saying that, listen, you cannot treat a woman this way and bring a man. You can't do that. If you have taken a woman out, you have to bring a woman. Professor Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu was on the minority decision, in the 3-2 decision that ousted Tokonu at the Supreme Court. The Asifwa case, which was very, very important. Now, if the Asifwa case had gone the other way, perhaps Justice Tokonu would still have been in the chair. If that case had gone the other way. But that case went to the side against Tokonu. 3-2, very slim. Professor Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu was on the part of the two. So the human rights people and the UK Bar Association, Ghana Bar Association, and all of those legal thinkers, all the Samuel Okudzeto, all the important legal thinkers are thinking that, look, if you want somebody with a really fair mind in this heated political divisiveness in Ghana, you are looking for Professor Justice Mensa-Bonsu. That's the one you are looking for. You don't want to have anybody else because she has demonstrated that she doesn't pander to the whims and caprices of politicians. And that's really what we need. Whether you are MPP or NDC, Professor Mensa-Bonsu remains in the middle. She is faithful to the law. That's what it's about. Because in the heat of the Tokonu crisis, she stood out and ruled against the majority that no, this is wrong and that the president's letter, the petition has not been handled properly and that an injunction should be placed on it. That was Professor Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu. Very fair, very firm, very strong, and very astute legally. She is one of the best criminal law experts in Ghana. So it is believed by all of those groups of people that if you are looking for a decision that is not animated by politics, then Professor Justice Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu is the way you should go. Full stop. Okay. So Avril Eni fits the same kind of bill. She wasn't in the case, but she's also a woman. So those who are saying that, okay, if you don't like Professor Mensa-Bonsu, then there's Avril Eni because you have to replace with a woman. You can't not take a woman out and bring in a man. That's wrong. Anyway, so that's where we are on the matter. So I will have to eliminate one. If you ask me to eliminate, I will eliminate Avril Eni. She's gone. So it's going to be a decision of the four. Either Professor Henrietta Mensa-Bonsu will get it, Justice Yoni Kulendi will get it, Justice Paul Bafuboni will continue what he is doing, but now formally, or Amadu Tanko will become the next Chief Justice of Ghana. I saw this story President Mahama touts Ghana's cedi as world's best performing currency in Japan. That's true. That's true. By the time President Mahama was in Japan, the currency was the world's best. Then moments later, says Ghana cedi now the world's worst performing currency, Bloomberg. These Bloomberg people, who told them that they should be telling us about our cedi? Do they spend cedi? The Bloomberg people, do they spend cedi? The other day when Akufo-Addo was complaining about the international ratings and Africa should get its own rating, we were shouting at him that he's too short and this and that. And he has chopped cathedral money and he's chopping money and he's aching mafia. And we said all those things about Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo was making the point that, look, these international agencies that don't sit in our country, they don't know what we know, they don't feel what we feel. They will sit in New York and they will say, Ghana is +2, Ghana is -0, Ghana is this, that. He alleged that if they have companies here, they do some work, you don't pay them. They tell the agency, Ghana is plus something. And that's what they are doing. NDC people were laughing at Akufo. They say he's too short, so he cannot see, so something. Look at what they've done. How can Ghana move from, what date is this? Where is the date? 20th August, President John Dramani Mahama, speaking in Japan, quotes the same Bloomberg. Mahama touts Ghana's cedi as world's best performing currency. It's not an analysis that John Mahama himself did. It's an analysis that Bloomberg did. And they reported on it that Ghana's currency is the best performing. Today, September 4 or so, then they come back and say, Ghana's cedi now world's worst performing currency. From August to September, we are talking about the whole world of 100 and something countries. Ghana can move from number 1 up to number 0. Go and take stone. Go and give it to Akufo-Addo. Go and take stone. Find stone. Go and pick stone. And say, Nana, Boni. Akufo-Addo said it. Now let's forget about these rating agencies and build our, they say he's too short. It's just, it's that. He should clear off. He's mismanaging the economy. Have you seen what has happened? They will do this to us until we go and resurrect Kwame Nkrumah from the grave that Akufo-Addo built for him beautifully at the Accra place there. And let him come and say again that we will get independence to show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. Akufo-Addo said it. So me tomorrow, I'll take my stone from here. I'll drive to Laboni, Akufo-Addo's office. I'll go and knock at his door. I'll see Niteko Tego. I'll push him out of the way. I'll go to Akufo-Addo's office. He'll ask me that, what am I doing here? I'll say, Nana, this is your stone. He'll ask me that, what's the stone for? I said, when you said that we should get our own rating agencies and we were all shouting at you, this is your stone. Now the rating agencies in 3 weeks have moved Ghana from the best performing currency to the worst performing currency. NDC, have you seen? Have you seen it? Please, there's an Akufo-Addo photograph where the NDC have been using where he's doing this. If you get it, if you have it, give it to me. NDC, have you seen what they've done to you? Me, I'm not going to celebrate it. That's NDC. No. We are talking Ghana. And we are talking Africa. And we are talking the renaissance of Africa and the independence of Africa. You see what Bloomberg have done? President Mahama was talking about it in Japan to international people. And I'm sure the Bloomberg people heard it. They say, oh, don't mind, we'll fix him. Let him say what he wants. We'll deal with him. And they are dealing with us. Are we going to sit down for them to deal with us every day? Rawlings came and said, we no go sit down, make the cheaters every day. No, they are still cheating us after shouting. The game is not about shouting. The game is about thinking to be able to develop systems that support our development. That's the game. It's thinking to be able to develop systems that support our development. Not this one. President Mahama says cedi is the best performing. Look at it. 2 days later, Ghana's cedi is the worst. Bloomberg. Cedi has moved from 11 to $1 to 13 to $1. Oh, Ghana is the worst performing. Bloomberg. This is going to go out to investors. Investors are going to review their something about Ghana. We are going to move from B to B minus and all that. When nothing has changed here, our cocoa is producing, our gold is producing, our economy is working, nothing has changed. But they are going to give verdicts that then undermine investor confidence. This is what happens. This is what Akufo-Addo was cautioning us about. That let us stop these things let's get our own rating agencies. A word to the wise is enough. A word to the wise is enough. Is it time for us to do the sports? Akosia Menu put something on social media. She said, how did Ghana City go from being the best performing
Nsem-Pii will honor more, now Nsem-So. It is now share on my YouTube channel.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.